I mean, he's practically been famous since he was a kid, and while the success has been massive, so has the dark side that's come with it.
Now he's having 48 hours with—
Ooh. That's no good. Justin Bieber, the biggest crash out of 2025. Video by Blackie Speaks. Now, I'm coming out the closet. I've been a believer since 2011. My nana gifted me the Never Say Never documentary, and I watched that puppy every night before going to bed. So needless to say, I've been a very big fan of Justin Bieber for a very long time. As of recently, he dropped Swag, and last night he dropped Swag 2, which I haven't gotten the chance to listen to it yet, but I know it's gonna be a banger. But what's going on with Justin Bieber? Let's find out.
To you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
It's not clocking to you that I'm stepping on business, is it? This is still one of my favorite clips, and he's basically just used this as a whole marketing strat for his new album. Really knows how to create a viral moment.
It's funny how that one line from Justin Bieber, "It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business," exploded into a full-blown meme overnight, but most people didn't stick around for the part that wasn't funny at all, and it showed just how far Justin has been pushed.
I'm a human being. You're standing around my car at the beach. You know what I'm saying? You don't think I'm a real guy, do you? You're gonna take this video out of context. You're gonna say I'm mad. I don't know who the paying you to provoke me, but I'm not the one, okay? Stop provoking me and I'm a real dad, a real husband, a real man.
Now, Justin Bieber has been on a generational crash out all 2025. He's been going viral, making headlines over and over since the start.
Oh yeah, I feel now that every week you go on social media, his name is in some type of news article with him crashing out on the paparazzi. But this is nothing new. He's been in the limelight since he was like 9 years old, so I feel like I would be crashing out too.
The year. Most recently, just a few weeks ago, he went viral for a meme built around the phrase "standing on business." It's a slang term that basically means handling your responsibilities, protect your name, and not letting anyone play with you. And Justin's use of it has become one of the most viral memes on social media in 2025. However, the context he used it in wasn't so funny. This wasn't some random joke. It happened in the middle of yet another tense run-in with the paparazzi, who honestly should be renamed to stalkers because that's exactly what they are.
Right.
Justin's paparazzi encounters have always brought out a raw side of him, and they've always created a headline. Now, most of us are familiar with Justin Bieber.
Could have chose a better picture.
At this point, he's a
Looking a little
31-year-old
rough.
Ontario, Canada native who's been one of the most popular singers in the world since his breakout back in 2010. Justin started his career on YouTube, posting covers of popular songs before catching the attention of Usher, who alongside Scooter Braun signed him to a major label deal. From there, he rose to fame essentially overnight. He dropped Baby, one of the fastest rising songs of the digital era, and became the
couldn't get away from it.
face of teen pop for an entire generation. I mean, he's practically been famous since he was a kid, and while the success has been massive, so has the dark side that's come with it.
Now he's having 48 hours with—
Ooh.
That's no good.
Diddy, him and his boy, they're having the times of their lives. Like,
It's crazy knowing what we know now about Diddy, and just the fact that Justin here is probably at the age of like 10, 11 years old. This is like when he was just like getting into his, not his peak, but he was just starting to blow up. Man.
hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Man, I've seen this clip so many times. He just looks so worried and scared, like so uncomfortable. Just watch his body language.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. But
the beginning of Justin's 2025 crash out can be traced back to late last year, right after the arrest of Sean Diddy.
Just gonna let that sit there for a moment. Alright, let's continue.
Korbz in September of 2024. Justin and Diddy go way back. They met when Justin was still a teenager, and over the years, there were clips, interviews, and moments of them hanging out that resurfaced once Diddy's name started making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Some of those old videos didn't exactly age well, including one where Diddy brags about spending 48 hours with a 15-year-old
This video was crazy. And this video has been picking up a lot of traction recently too. I know that it was maybe like a week ago this video popped up in my recommendations, and then right next to it was the Diddy trial. Man, it's crazy what's going on.
and another where he presses Justin on why they don't hang out anymore. Watching them now, you can see that Justin looks uncomfortable, and a lot of fans have pointed out how creepy the interactions feel in hindsight.
It's crazy that like Justin's parents didn't think there was anything wrong with it either. Like, oh yeah, just give their kid to Diddy. This guy must have been like 11 years old, whatever. And you're making him hang out with a grown-ass adult.
Man.
Promising him Lamborghinis, women, all this crap.
So when the allegations against Diddy exploded, from lawsuits to federal raids to a full-blown criminal case involving SEX trafficking charges, Justin apparently wanted nothing to do with it. Although JB never directly made a statement, sources close to him said he's been keeping his distance from the Diddy situation completely, focusing on his wife Haley and their newborn son, and trying to block out anything connected to that part of his past. He was allegedly disgusted by the situation and wanted to leave it behind, with no interest in being linked to any of it. The Diddy and Justin connection has been well documented. I even did a full breakdown on it back in March, and while it's never been confirmed that anything happened between them or that Diddy ever did anything to him, it's been an industry relationship that a lot of people have side-eyed for years. And after that, it's like a switch flipped. By the start of 2025, the vibe around Justin was completely different. He was more outspoken, more unfiltered, and way more willing to put his emotions on display. Fans weren't just laughing at memes anymore, they were starting to worry. His name was showing up in headlines for a lot of different reasons, and the pattern...
See, I've been seeing this all over social media with all of his crazy posts of him doing some wild shit. I think bro is just finally happy. I mean, he's basically retired now, or just not as mainstream as he used to be. I mean, he's still super mainstream, but he's not like this ideal pop star that everyone was fascinated about when he was like 17, 18, 19 years old. Especially in his early 20s is probably when he was his biggest. But he's probably just enjoying the fruits of his labor now. I mean,
was hard to ignore.
He's had a very long and successful career.
Justin posted an Instagram video of himself smoking a fat-ass blunt. Now, the video itself wasn't, crazy or anything like that. Just a young man enjoying a blunt, that's all. By the way, if you guys want to support the channel, go grab yourself one of these cool Blackie mugs, okay? If you drink coffee, if you drink water, hey, whatever, you can get one of these, okay? Link is in the description below, so yeah, cheers to that. But at this point, it also felt like he was trolling people back a little, posting things that blur the line between self-expression and bait. His so-called strange behavior was already becoming a major talking point. And honestly, I just don't think Justin gave, a fuck at this point, right? Then his post started to feel different. Less like random celebrity content and more like someone letting the world in on their insecurities. Not long after, Justin posted a vulnerable IG story admitting he's always felt unworthy, like a fraud, and unequipped most days. He wrote about feeling sneaky when people praised him, like if they knew his real thoughts, they would probably change his mind about him. Now, I'm no licensed therapist, okay, and I don't think I look like one. If your therapist looks like me, you might be in trouble, right? But could this be a sign of imposter syndrome? That's what it sounds like.
100%, man.
Imposter syndrome mixed with a little burnout from living under the spotlight for so long. Justin followed this up with another post in all caps saying, "People keep telling me to heal. Don't you think if I could have fixed myself, I would have already? I know I'm broken. I know I have anger issues. Honestly, I'm exhausted with thinking about myself lately. Aren't you?" Honestly, that sounds like a straight up cry for help. Not just frustration, but exhaustion from trying to fix himself to meet the expectations of other people. I mean, I can't even imagine what it's like to live in a position where your every move is under a microscope. That has to be exhausting. Around this time...
Exactly, man. I couldn't imagine being Justin Bieber when he was 9, 10, 11 years old and then getting all this fame and then wondering how long it's going to last. And then as you're getting older, it just progressively gets bigger and bigger and bigger to a point where you don't even really have control of your own life. People are setting your own schedules. You have to be at certain places at certain times. You need to be friends with certain people because they're in your industry and you need to play it up for the cameras. So everything around Justin just seems not into his interest, but for the machine's interest.
Justin was spotted in New York City looking tense, and he kind of had this hollow look in his eyes, and it only added fuel to the speculation about what's going on behind the scenes. He did recently become a father, so part of me thinks that this dude is just like, he's sleep deprived and seems like he works a lot. So when you stack that on top of the constant...
Yeah, and bro just had a kid too. Man got married. He's having a family. I think bro's just enjoying life.
Public attention, every expression, every move being analyzed, it's not hard to see how someone could start looking drained. And
if this was in 2015, him walking on the streets like that, he would be bombarded with a crowd of 13-year-old girls because that was his fan base at the time.
Then we have the standing on business clip. Probably the biggest example of how Justin's 2025 has played out. On the surface, it's a funny one-liner the internet ran with. But in the moment, maybe it's not so funny, especially when you find out the truth about what really happened. Obviously, this is a guy who was clearly fed up. He was drawing a line in the sand. So
Yeah.
Justin was essentially, just doing his thing, living his life, and then a bunch of paparazzis, they come and they just invade his privacy, right? So that standing on business meme, I mean, it's a meme, but really, when you think about his past and all the things he's been through in the industry, that moment represents all that BS that he's gone through. One thing people don't talk about enough is the amount of mistreatment Justin Bieber's faced from adults in the music industry. Whether it's pressure, manipulation, or outright crossing boundaries, Justin has dealt with things no teenager should have to experience. He's always been painted as the problem. When he lashed out or seemed out of control, it was ridiculed. Every mistake became a headline. Every outburst was labeled as entitlement or bad behavior. But what if this wasn't just a spoiled pop star acting out, but a kid growing up too fast in an industry that took away his innocence? Take the 2012 American Music Awards for example. Actress Jenny McCarthy literally essayed him on live television, grabbing his neck, forcing a kiss, and even grabbing his butt.
Wow.
She later laughed about it, calling it cougar rape.
I want some Bieber fever.
Now imagine if some 30-year-old man were to do that to some 15-year-old, 16-year-old pop star girl. He would get canceled immediately.
And I want a Bieber rash. I want it all. It'd be like cougar rape.
The fact that she did this to a
Hey, yo, that's crazy. You could get away with saying anything back then if you were a girl. Because if it was a guy saying this shit, oh my god.
teenager
The internet would have his head.
admitted it and nothing happened tells you everything about the industry. And moments like this start to explain some of his behavior later on. Back then I used to just think, oh, Justin Bieber's acting out again, like young spoiled brat. Like that's the perspective I and a lot of people used to have of Justin, right? And that's exactly how the media was framing it. But they weren't really telling the full story. They were shaping it. Every headline, every tabloid cover, every paparazzi clip was crafted to make him look like the arrogant, out of control pop star. Once that narrative stuck, it was almost impossible to see him any other way.
ABC News has learned his blood alcohol level was 0.04, well below the legal limit, but since Bieber's under 21, still considered a DUI.
Damn, he was under 21 at the time too, man.
Under the influence, resisting arrest without violence, and driving with an expired license.
Now that was one of Justin Bieber's arrests from over 10 years ago. It was a pretty controversial story in the media, and I don't condone drag racing while under the influence, but I vividly remember how exaggerated a lot of those stories were. The reality was often far less dramatic than the headlines. Why? Because controversy sells. Selling the image of a reckless teenager was extremely profitable, and they pushed it at every opportunity.
All right, the first case this afternoon is Justin Bieber. Mr. Bieber, you are charged with the following: resisting without violence and driving with an expired driver's license.
And nothing cemented that narrative more than the clips of him in court. Orange jumpsuit, stone-faced, standing before the judge. Those few seconds of footage were everywhere. They didn't show the full context, however, and they didn't really have to. To the public, it was the perfect snapshot of the pop star gone wild. By 2014, Justin's legal troubles were stacking up fast. One of the more bizarre cases was the now famous egging incident in Calabasas.
The egging incident?
Prosecutors said he caused thousands of dollars in damage to a neighbor's home after throwing eggs at it. He eventually
I've never heard about this. When did this happen?
Pleaded no contest to misdemeanor vandalism and was sentenced to 2 years probation, 5 days of community service, 12 weeks of anger management, and was ordered to pay over $80,000 in damages. Police even raided his home looking for surveillance footage. They didn't catch the egging itself on camera, but claimed someone matching his description was seen high-fiving friends after.
I couldn't imagine Justin Bieber just egging your house one day. That would be an interesting thing to catch on your security cam, eh?
Afterwards. But this was just one piece of the puzzle. Around the same time, Justin Bieber was also facing an assault charge in Toronto for allegedly hitting a limo driver. In less than a year, the clean-cut teen idol had become a headline fixture for all the wrong reasons. I think Justin might be one of the most misunderstood young artists in the industry. And over the years, I've taken a real liking to him, especially recently, because when you look at what he's been through, it's wild how well he turned out. A lot of the people he came up with didn't turn out so well. Most of them fell out of popularity completely. You never heard from them again. Others couldn't handle the pressure and burned out fast. Considering the perception he's carried for so long, you'd almost expect him to end up like so many others, faded out or completely gone. Overall, I think his so-called crash out was justified, and maybe this was just his way of letting it all out. A chapter he had to go through to survive in an industry that was never built to protect him in the first place.
Okay, and that seems to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. What do you guys think? Do you think Justin Bieber is just completely unhinged? Personally, I think he's just living his life. After dropping his album, getting married, having a child, I can see where he would just possibly want to just settle down, not being bombarded by paparazzi. What do you guys think? Comment down below, like this video, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.